Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity.
What is going on, crypto fam? Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Nightcap. We are doing this every Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're trying to bring you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use for tomorrow. And man, am I excited for tonight because we have a very, very special guest, Mr. Bill Noble, and we are bringing him up right here. Round of applause for my man. Thank you very much for stopping by, Mr. Noble. How are you?
I'm good, sir. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. FD, what's up, my guy? How are you? Can't forget your intro here.
I'm doing amazing, man. I'm excited too, man. Our first official guest, and who better to pop it off with other than Bill, man. Bill is a staple in the community, a staple in the crypto space, and no other person I would want to have on first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank
you. You guys are what's next. I've already told everybody that. I don't mind telling them again.
I appreciate that. We definitely appreciate that. We are trying to grow, man. We're definitely trying to put something else, fill in a time slot that we think is a little bit different, and also just trying to put out some quality stuff for people to watch. And we do take it very serious, and we're very cognizant of the fact that people are watching us and they really are using their own money sometimes. And so we try to be very, very careful with the things we say here. So again, it's much appreciated, your support. Thank you, everybody who's in the chat right now. I see it blowing up. So let's go ahead and go over it and say what's up to some people here in the chat here. We got Twill, Line Man for Hire. Shout out to the gang. What's up, my guy? D. Jenny from the blockchain. He said, this is going to be good. Caffeinated Crypto. Eric Wallen. He is the man. Richard Berry, welcome, dude. I think it's the first time I've seen you in the chat here. Thank you for stopping by. I know who you're here for. I know it's for Bill, but thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Harp, how you doing? Army Piper, we couldn't be doing this unless it was for him. FD, my man, he's on the show, obviously. Wix Fine 89, I love saying that every time. My man, Red Man, Ola, how you doing? Nikki B, Alexandra G, the best mod in the house. We love her, our SoCal girl. And guess what? We are definitely enjoying some of that beautiful weather out here in SoCal right now. And then we got Wick 589 featuring BTC, Twerking Time. Y'all crack me up with these names. All right. Who else we got here? Scrolling down, Indie Rock Crypto, Alex O Crypto, my man, my brother from another mother. He's my twinsy. How you doing? Congratulations. He's had a lot of big events going on in life, and congratulations, man. You got a little baby. So if you don't know, say congrats to Alex O. OC guy is in here. My dude. He's on the morning show with us. He's a great guy, and he is a wizard with TA. We call it the Mexican spaghetti. Buck's in here. What's up, my guy? Throwing up the flags here, and I think I hit them off. I missed you. I'm so sorry. But with that being said, Bill, I'm going to go ahead and give you an opportunity to tell the people a little bit about yourself. Give you that opportunity. Push people your way in terms of your socials, your YouTube. I definitely want to provide you that. So you got
All
it.
right,
The
sir.
floor
Well,
is yours.
I appreciate that. I started in the market as an 18-year-old intern at JP Morgan on Wall Street. It turned out to be the summer that a Middle Eastern country got invaded, and they saw the wildest price action since 1987. I said, I don't know how anybody manages this kind of volatility. It was staggering. Keep in mind that was pre-internet, so it was all done with telephone and handwritten tickets. It was unbelievable. Calculators. That's when I picked up a TA textbook. The technical analyst took me out to lunch, and the rest followed. I became, you know, kind of the guy that specialized in big market moves and insane volatility, you know, went from, you know, Morgan Stanley to Goldman Sachs and all these Wall Street firms. And I got out, I escaped from legacy in 2018. Some guy who used to read my work at Goldman called me up and said, "Hey, Bill, we would really love to hear what you have to say about Bitcoin." I'm like, "Bitcoin, what's that?"
Mhm.
So, you know, 5 years into space, here we are. We're all here for our passion in crypto. Twitter is at @crypto_noble. YouTube is just at crypto noble. You know, there's a Patreon link in Twitter. You can check that out. But that's who I am and where I'm at.
Awesome, man. That's really cool, man. I didn't know like your kind of backstory there, so definitely interesting. I definitely, you know, I want to learn more about you. I hear you're a guy in the space, man. So definitely would like to mix it up with you quite a
You know
bit.
what? You know what, TradeFly, man?
What's up?
I've been selling Bill before we went live, man. I've been an avid watcher of his since you know, the early days, soon as he, you know, when he first got into crypto. And he brings that that knowledge from the other side too. You know what I mean? A lot of people just coming into the space, a lot of us, like even me, I just came in, you know, just straight into crypto basically with no other prior knowledge, no other, you know, being on like trading floors and things like that. So I only know one way. It's good to hear, you know, somebody who's been on the other side and doing, you know, things like that, and you know, using calculators and using cell phones, man. It's definitely
Hand
definitely
signals,
hand
like
signals,
this
yeah.
Carrier
is the
pigeons.
order book. It's 2 bid, offered at 3. No
Yeah.
pigeons, but you know, hand signals and jumping up and down from you can't even cite the movie anymore that was in. People, it's too old. So
Oh,
yeah,
man.
when it was all done by humans, you used to be able to watch the chart. I used to have the chart up and the arena with all the humanity screaming behind it. I could watch both at the same time.
Oh,
That's
wow.
wild.
It's what made my education.
Yeah.
Dude,
For real.
dude, talk about getting old. Like, I had a kid the other day. He didn't know who Bill Murray was, and I was like, no, no. I was like, "Are you for real?" I was like, "Hold on, let me go back." I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. Okay, we're gonna relate here. We're gonna find a way to do this." And I was like, "All right, Space Jam." And he was like, "Yeah, I've seen Space Jam." I was like, "Bill Murray was Bill Murray in Space Jam, man. Like that's how popular this guy is." I was like, "All right, all right, that wasn't doing the trick." I was like, "All right,
Whole new,
man,
whole
let
new
me."
generation, man. Whole new
Dude, it's
generation.
wild. It's wild.
Right. I talk about market events in years where the people who are watching me weren't born yet. I sometimes forget that, right? I go, "Oh, this looks like 1998." And everyone's like, anyway.
Yeah. What was the other one? I was like Zombieland. I was like, I'm gonna find somebody a little closer to his time frame. He's like, yeah, I know Zombieland. I was like, they killed Bill Murray in Zombieland. Like they made a big deal about killing Bill Murray, man. I was like, this has to relate. Um, oh man, what was the other thing that happened? Texas Instruments, the calculator. Oh man, we were talking about that the
Right.
other day. Nobody knew what it was. I was like, you're kidding me. I was like, this was a staple of my childhood. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. All right, we got to move on. What we got here? Piper, member for 5 months, cum laude. Richard Berry is going to guest spot on morning show in 2 weeks. Right on, man. That'd be super, super cool. And then did Jenny from the blockchain? Yep, TI-85, man. You know it. I had one of those for sure. All right, let's get into some of the news here. And let's see. First thing we got up is the Kobeisi letter. Let me make sure that everything's showing up here. It is. All right. Breaking US Bitcoin ETF saw a 252 million net inflow on Friday. That is the highest in over a month. So, guess what? That's kind of bullish for the ETFs. Next thing we got up here is breaking. Inflation adjusted home prices are now a near record 100% higher than the long term 130-year average, according to RevVenture. I hope I pronounced that one right. But that's one thing that, you know, I kind of want to talk about. So I'm going to bring us back up to the trio cam. And how do you guys think that that actually will have an impact on the market? I mean, if you're looking at the inflows itself just for the day, those look good. But I mean, in terms of having inflation through the roof, housing markets through the roof, one, I think that's going to pull back. I think actually I've already started to see that pull back a little bit here in SoCal. But in general, I think it's going to pull back. But what does that do to disposable income, and how does that actually affect the market? Would be my question I would pose to you guys. And Bill, I'll let you have first hack at that one.
Okay. So the Fed, by hiking rates too far, too fast, especially the too fast part, nobody wants to sell a house with a 3% mortgage. So there's no supply. So when the Fed normalizes rates, hopefully housing can just start to trade again. We don't know if housing should be up here or housing should be lower. The market isn't functioning, which is not good. Now, in terms of what it does to people's psychology, I don't know. I mean, if you're a young person, you're like, okay, well, it's tough to afford things. Okay, well, I don't know what I can do about that, but I need an asset that appreciates. I need to get out of dollars and I need to get into a currency that can give me some purchasing power. And Gen Z is going to discover the green button on Coinbase, something serious. Something serious. And when you look at this ETF, I don't know, BlackRock wants to buy $40 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's their estimate. Where are they going to get all that Bitcoin from? They're going to market buy that? You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to have to get it by taking over miners, or when they start coming into the market for it, it's going to be heavy-handed stuff. Everyone's like, oh, I can't buy it. It's scary.
I am so glad you said miners. I've been talking about this for probably 6 months. I think it's only a matter of time before BlackRock starts assuming some of those mining companies. And I don't think that they'll care if it's at a loss. I really don't. I think it's going to be like Apple, just kind of, hey, we got this whole ecosystem. Some of it sucks, some of it's great, but when it's all tied together, it's beautiful. And I think that's the approach that BlackRock is going to take. And I've been talking about that one, dude, for months. And so I love to hear you say that as well. FD, man, what do you think? What's kind of your thoughts on this?
I mean, I have to second, what you guys are, you guys' sentiment. Like, it's not enough. It's not going to be enough supply. Like, so they're going to have to find other avenues and other ways to, accumulate or produce, so to say, Bitcoin. So those miners, I do foresee them coming in and starting to buy some of these miners, probably starting with the smaller ones first, and then trying to move up, move their way to the bigger ones. But we also see, I think it was Marathon Digital is also, they're like buying crypto and mining crypto as
strategic reserve. Yeah.
Strategic reserve. So, seeing things like that, a miner also buying Bitcoin, like I can't get any more bullish, you know what I mean, than that. Like, and we just gotta weather these little ebbs and flows. We know we zoom out and we know what time it is. It all just correlates together, especially with what we know is going to have to happen in the economy eventually. We're just going to have a huge asset bubble, and crypto is going to be, like I always say, the fastest vehicle in the garage.
Right on, man.
Well
I
said.
dig it. Guess what? We're about to sound the alarm. You know what time it is. Elmer Fudd's coming out. All right, and here is our FUD alert. You guys have been talking about it already, I'm sure, today, but Toncoin, it fell 20% after Telegram founder Pavel Durov's arrest in France. We have covered that a little bit on the morning show. For obvious reasons, price came down, but I got to be honest, when you look at big business and you start really thinking about this logically, think about Binance, all right? Think about when CZ had all of his issues, he got arrested. The green machine kept on turning, right? There's a reason that you have a lot of leadership in place, at the upper echelons to make sure that this business keeps going, right? So it's very, I think it's an opportunity, I guess is what I'm getting at, because this is not really directed so much at Ton, itself. It's really directed at the founder, and really it's more about privacy. They didn't want to budge, so they're fighting the fight here of saying, hey, we're not going to budge on this privacy concern. And of course, the government found a way to go after them. That's no big surprise. And then also big news, SEC lawsuit against Kraken crypto exchange will proceed to trial. So that was ruled today as well. So again, I don't know that this is going to be a massive issue. We kind of got to see, what is, I'm not 100% spun up on exactly what the lawsuit is for. I will have to do some research on that, but that's probably going to be a big factor in whether this is really going to scare people out or not. Be careful though. When they start going after exchanges, it's never hurts to say, hey, let's go ahead and shift some of my funds to a cold wallet, or, playing whack-a-mole with the exchanges. I've done that a lot, where they started going after KuCoin at one point. I was like, yep, I'm going to shift some funds. They went after Voyager. I was like, yep, I'm going to shift some funds because I'm just playing the game. All right. So, some of those actually did go down, and then KuCoin ended up doing KYC and made it basically impossible. I mean, unless you have a VPN, they basically made it, hey, we're not going to serve U.S. customers anymore. So be aware, and keep that in the back of your mind. And I personally, if I were to have funds on Kraken, which I don't, I would probably find a way to move those. I know some of you may be in an active trade, and that's a little harder because then you have to realize a gain or a loss, and that's a whole tax discussion. So do your research, find out what exactly is going on here, but just be very careful, put it on your radar. And again, it's more for you to have a little bit of essay on what's going on here. All right, let's go over to the market pulse. And first up, we're going to talk about the total market cap, which is at 2.21 trillion. That is down 2.91%. Total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is up 33.68%, and Bitcoin dominance is currently at 56.4%, which is an increase of 0.21% over the last day. Fear and Greed Index is neutral at 56. Bitcoin is at 62,955. That's down 1.82% over 24 hours and up 4.51% over 7 days. Ethereum is currently sitting at $2,689, and that is up, or correction, down 2.36% over 24 hours and up 1.38. Let's go ahead and scroll down to the top 10 because we've been watching the race with Tron and Cardano. Tron is taking the lead here. It is at number 9 right now at a market cap of 14 billion. So that thing is still moving. It was in the 13s last time we looked at it. Cardano is now at 13.2 essentially, and Toncoin falling out of the top 10, obviously on the news of the day. So there is your top 10. Let's look at the economic calendar. Today we did have durable goods month over month. The consensus and forecast was, consensus was 5%. The forecast was 3%. Actual we got was 9.9%. So it's actually a little bit bullish. That was a little better than anticipated. A lot better than anticipated, to be honest with you. Next thing you got up is on August 29th. That's going to be GDP growth rate. And then on August 30th, same week, we got core PCE price index month over month, personal income month over month, and personal spending month over month. So you definitely have a couple big data points coming out that can have a little bit of an impact on the market. I don't know how much it will drive the crypto market per se, but I think the GDP is definitely one to look at, as well as core PCE. So if you want to get this skinny on these, I just let you say, hey, this stuff's coming down the pipe, but if you want to get the skinny, I'll tell you the man to listen to. That's going to be Army Piper. Tune in to the morning show here on Piper Academy, and that's going to go at 0930 Eastern Time, and that is 0930 a.m. Eastern Time. Sorry for my military speak there, but tune in. He is very, very smart with that. He would be able to break it all down and really help you understand what this stuff means and how it really affects the market. So there is my little shield for the morning show. Let's go over the crypto bubbles. HNT Helium, that is up 15.8%. AKT, which is Akash Network, is up 11.9%. And again, this is the crypto 100 for Coinbase, just so you know what's on here. But a lot of things are really pulling back, to be honest with you. NOD is down 10.5, Bonk down 6.8, PayPay down 6.7, Phantom down 7.3, Sats is down 8.9. So a lot of movers. We're finding some things between 5 and 10% generally on the market here. So many of the cryptos are actually pulling back. So all right, let's go over to the liquidation heat map. Now, I did talk about this morning, and one of the things that I was looking at was the liquidity here at about 62.8. And that was kind of my near term. I think we're going to hit that. I think we're going to clear that out. And how do I come up with this? Just if you guys are new here, one of the things I like to look at, all right, where is liquidity? But then I look at the price action. I want to see the structure and how we're actually trending towards that liquidity. When I start seeing the price action trend down and right like this towards the liquidity, I say odds are you're going to get that liquidity. Okay, so that's kind of how I come up with it. Now, if you saw price action going up and right and liquidity is down here, then it's probably less of a concern. But once you see price working its way there, I would say more times than not, you see that liquidity get cleared out. Next area I'm kind of looking at is down at around 62. Why am I looking at that? I'm going to let you see on the chart here. All right, so you know what? Let's go ahead and tie it in. All right, let's go ahead and tie it in here. And let me get over to, because all my buttons are different here. Let's see here. Let me make sure I got, all right, that's showing you bills real quick. Let me go ahead and show you mine here. All right, TradeFly. Oops. Hitting the wrong buttons. All right. Cool.
You
I got
oh,
it.
there we go. Yep.
All right. So, and the reason I'm going to be real quick here with the Bitcoin chart, but what I want to show you, and I want to keep it kind of fresh in your mind, is when we're looking at that liquidity, right? When I say 62K, this is how it correlates to the chart. All right. So this is what's really, really important when you're saying, okay, well, cool, liquidity is sitting at this random number. Yeah, but this random number ties into where you have an area of support. So let's go ahead and change this line right here, which is red. I actually want to make that green. Okay, so green indicates to me that there's support. Red will indicate that there's resistance, but you also have this trend line. So we've been talking about this trend line for a long time, me and FD, right? We're seeing the same thing on the chart. It's blatantly obvious when you're on the daily. All right, that trend is going up and right. You see it's acting as support as it worked its way into resistance. You had the dynamic reactor, and then you had this flat horizontal area of resistance, right? So it pushed up and right, and we're like, it's building pressure, it's building pressure. And if you come down to the RSI or the prime oscillator, you'll see that that was trending up and right as well. So everything was in unison pushing up and right. And actually, I think on the morning show, I was like, hey, I think in the next 24 to 48 hours, it's going to break. And it broke, I think, in like a matter of hours. And I mean, you know, lucky on that part of it. But what I was saying, like, hey, if you're looking at this trend line and you get that pressure, it's not going to take long before it does break. So what is this? Piper Academy turned on subscribers only mode. I don't know what's going on there, but Piper's doing some magic in the background. All right. So next thing I'm looking for here, and we call this the OC retest. I'm looking for price action to come back down and flip what was resistance into support. You want to get that confirmation. All right. So that is my play. So I actually have a position, and I'll show you guys that on Blofin. It's open right here at $62,050. Now, this is going to be a scalp trade. All right. It's going to be quick, low capital, but I'm going to look for a little bit of price action off of that area based on what I'm looking at on the chart. So that's kind of how we're tying in this TA to like real life and like, hey, I'm actually making trades based off of the TA that I'm looking at. So I wanted to show that to you. Point of control, my high side target. Okay. Point of control that goes back months. All right. Point of control is at about 67,000. All right. I think there's going to be some price action off of that area. I think you'll probably find resistance initially before you actually break through. And don't be surprised if you find yourself in a range there as well. So those are a few of the targets that I'm looking at on Bitcoin. Now I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to Bill because he's got some good TA for you on Toncoin. So give me 1 second as I get this going because there it is. I did it.
All right.
I'm proud of myself.
All right. Thank you for that. So on Ton, let's think about it for a second. Top 10 coin. Considering that a top 10 coin just went down 30%, the market actually trades pretty good, right? I mean, that's like a crash in a big cap. Market holds fairly well. Second thing about Toncoin, we'll zoom out in a minute, but people probably thought they were safe in this. And when you have a 5-month correction, because they got Ondo, right? Ondo went all the way down to 50 cents. Everyone thought they were safe. There is no parking lot in a big bear flush like this. So the fact that they got Ton, it's just reflective of the fact that they kind of get everybody. Now, a couple other things, right? Keeping it careful. You know, you have someone from Eastern Europe lands in a Western European country and gets cuffed. All right. So that creates a lot of controversy about, you know, can you say the things you want to say? Can you do the things you want to do? And you know what I can do? You know what we can do? We can hit the green button if you want to be free. Second, they're giving this Toncoin some free advertising, right? In other words, Americans can't really get their hands on it easily. Next thing you know, it's like, hey, what's that? A Telegram has a coin? So if you look at the TA, right? If you look at the tactical stuff, you know, this X signals comes from Elliott wave. It just means whatever corrections going on will continue. That's what happened. You know, 511 was a support area. That was, you know, that gave you a bounce. I think the juicy buy is 486. And you know what, man? Again, if they want to flush the market out, like every time any regulator or sovereign has attacked anything, like remember when Solana was a security and everyone was selling it at 20? Remember that? Right? It's all forgotten, right?
Yep.
Regulators and sovereigns can make all the noise they want, but at the end of the day, they're taking Toncoin back down to Black Monday. So they're giving it to you at a discount. And then if you just kind of, let me clean up the chart and do like a look at the big picture, what have they really done here? Like just doing this like on the fly TA. I don't know. What are they doing? Retracing, I don't know, a little more than 38%. Maybe they, like you say, they grab the liquidity at the retracement level and possibly come back through eventually on a daily chart. But what's wrong with a 38% retracement? That's very organic. So the fact that they flush everyone out, plus they scare everyone, right? It's like, oh, shark, Black Monday back in the 80s and the 90s, people, that was in people's psyche for 10 years. Now you've got Black Monday in Toncoin and you've got this sovereign issue. So when I look at this, can it go lower? Yeah. All right. But if it does that create an opportunity, not just in Ton, right? In this area near 480, but what about the rest of the market, right? Like Ton at 480, does that give you something juicy in Solana? So in some ways, these sovereigns, they just did you a favor, right? By putting Ton on the worldwide map, right? By turning this guy into a hero. And then eventually people are going to ask themselves, go back to your original news story. How do I afford a house? How do I say what I want to say? How do I do what I want to do? Oh, look, it's the green button. Boom. So that's how I would do Ton.
Yeah. I mean, perfectly said, because I had that exact level. Like we retested this in March, April, came down, like you said, for Black Monday. And now that's the same area that's on my radar. And like Bill said, like now, his name and Telegram and Toncoin is on the radar. So just think, once we get all the more information out, once we get, more details, then we'll kind of figure out a bottom, so to say. Then just think of if he gets off, or just think of if something happens where the charges are dropped or something like that, and you picked up this juicy entry down here. I think like that. I'm a perma bull, for the most part. So a lot of times I'm gonna flip bullish. I'm gonna make anything seem like it's kind of or find a bullish factor in anything. But I'm thinking like you said, he's on the map now. People are looking at this case, at this charge, as something of a like he's a hero, barring new information coming out that he's directly into, So I'm looking at this Toncoin dip as an opportunity. I thought I missed it. I really thought I missed it because Ton came out of nowhere, really. Ton came out of nowhere. And if you really do some deep diving on Telegram as a whole, I mean, they got their own application, their own apps. They got a nice ecosystem of coins. They got meme coins that coming out. So they got a lot of things going for them. And Telegram is a staple technology, with all the users that it can hold and all the users that it can withstand. So I'm thinking this is a gift, not financial advice. Of course, we got to say that, but I definitely feel the same way Bill feels. And if we come down a little bit more, I think I'm gonna start setting my buy orders at that and a little bit below, if we do come down a little bit below that support level.
So that is just what I was gonna ask. Where, like, how close are we to where we're saying, hey, this is a good entry? Like, do you have Ton up right now? It's hard for me to actually see it. Is this Ton on yours, FD?
Yeah, let me
Okay,
make my
so
screen a bit bigger.
I'm looking. I see your circles. I see your bounces off of
Yeah,
a
so
support level right there. Is that what you're waiting for?
Yep. So we did this in March. We came down in March, flipped that into support, and we came down again in May. Same level. Came down over here. This was Black Monday. And now what I'll be waiting for is just simple TA. Sometimes you got to put everything to the side and just go back to the basics. So my basic probability would be for it to come back down here and retest, because sometimes the news front runs the technicals, but sometimes the technicals front runs the news. So it's just one of them things where, as a probability, I'll be loading up, in this area here as opposed to, waiting for it to dip lower. And if it dip lower, then, I'll just find some more dry powder to buy more, because I'm bullish long-term Toncoin.
So you're just gonna lower your entry. Yeah, man, that's definitely one way to do it. I think, after a big pull, I think the thing that like scares me, if I'm looking at it correctly, I'm just kind of looking at your chart right now. The red line, I'm assuming, is the 200 SMA or EMA.
Yep.
Okay.
To a SMA.
SMA. Okay, cool. So yeah, a close under that with a retest would pretty much say, hey, yeah, you're probably going to come down to that support area. So I
Right.
would kind of be waiting on that personally. It looks like Alex O said he bought a bunch of time. He said he's going to keep adding as it goes lower. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's people out here that he's a trader. Like we all know Alex O. Like he trades well, and he has conviction in time. It sounds like you have conviction in time. What about you, Bill? I mean, like what do you think would be a, a relatively good entry on Ton? Are you like comfortable? It sounds like you might be comfortable kind of now. But is there something you're waiting for in terms of an entry? And I'll go back to your screen here.
Okay. Well, my attitude on this is my attitude on the rest of the market, which is, you know what? I think we got time to make them, let them sell it to you at a good price, right? I don't know if this is like the be in a hurry zone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So can you imagine how bearish people would get in general if TON fell below $5? Cointelegraph, TON below 5, right?
Yeah.
So I would actually wait to see if people would get really wound up and see if you can get it below 5. Because I mean, it's like, at 7.5, you thought you missed out. So maybe you give it a little while to see if this news flow gives you like one more flush down. Like you said, like FD's got the support point. Maybe they go down and flush everyone out,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because, when everyone feels like buying the dip, that's not the low. The low is absence of buying. The low is absence of hope. So if there's hope, there's no bottom. Unfortunately, right? Like
Right
Black
on.
Monday looked like the end of the world.
Yeah.
So if there's kind of a, oh my God, trade in this where people buy this first dip and don't make money, maybe that's when you grab it, right? Like last year, it paid to be patient into September, into the early part of the month.
Yep.
Like that was the low. So who knows? Maybe they're going to give you a Labor Day low.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things. Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead,
I'm
man.
sorry.
I was gonna say one
No.
of the things I look for on these two, right? When you have these big drops, and then let's say you start to get what looks like a V-shaped recovery. A lot of times, I'll take a horizontal on that
Mhm.
resistance level of that V shape, and then I'll just wait for that breakout. And yeah, did I get the low? No, I didn't get the low, but I still got a decent price, right? Because then you're getting a breakout from that recovery, and that's still okay. So you can wait for that, and it's kind of a conservative play, a conservative way. I'm not going to say that's a scalping, thing. That's more of like, hey, I want this long term. I want to kind of hold this. But that might be an option as well. So what were you going to say, FD? Sorry about that.
I was just gonna say another thing is, we got this specifically for Toncoin, but like the overall altcoin space right now is kind of in a limbo. So, Bitcoin is we're what 62,000. So we're still like holding in our bullish structure. We've just been in a huge range for like the past few months. So nothing has really changed. We got to come on and talk every day. So we got to make something, talk about something. But for the most part, I think if Bitcoin starts to ascend up, past that 72, 73, investors, we have short memories. Like, if the overall market starts to go up, I think it'll bring all these coins up, even Toncoin. Like, as long as they don't say they're like banning Telegram, which Toncoin has really nothing to do with Telegram. It's just, a Telegram coin, something like that. So for now, I think they're going to start integrating it into it eventually. But, I think this is an opportunity. A lot of people, like you said, thought they missed the boat above I have like a orange line. I thought I missed the boat too. So I was just starting to accumulate on small dips. But since we got this, I feel like this is a gift. And, I'm hoping we come down a little bit more, and then so I can get, put a huge amount in.
Right on. Hey, is there any coins that you want to take a look at, FD? Got
No,
gemmed
not
up?
really, man. Really, Bitcoin. Like I was on actually we can go to Bitcoin. I was on Blockchain Basement. Shout out to the Blockchain Basement guys over there this morning. And we just talked about that upward sloping trend line. Like usually, like I've been trying to really not just use trend lines and things like that anymore. But like you said, like this one has, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We've been touching this. Let me get to it. We've been touching this trend line over and over and over again. So I'm actually long right now. So I'm just kind of blindly long because I just was long here, long here, long here, long here. So now I drew this a little bit earlier, my area of interest. So I'm thinking we might get a bounce here, even if it's a small bounce. It's still a bounce. So I'm actually in profits now. We're at 62.9. So I'll just be keeping my eye out on here. I don't really want to over trade in this environment. I think going until like the end of September, October, that's when the longs really will print. I think that's when the market really is going to start turning around. I'm not trying to make any predictions, but I just have a hunch. Sometimes you have a hunch in these things, and I feel like with the election coming up and the markets, I don't think the markets are going to be bearish going into an election, especially like the stock market. I think we're going to get a nice rally, and I think Bitcoin's going to lead the way.
Right on. So to give people, I would say, like a little look behind the curtain. All right. So those are the points that you went long based on that trend line. So let's
Yep.
say that it breaks that trend line. Let's say you get a true retest on the bottom side of that trend line.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, are you going to exit, or are you going to kind of ride it down to that horizontal level of support that was resistance? Or what's kind of your game plan, like your exit strategy? Because I think that's something that so many content creators leave out when they start talking about, hey, like I'm getting into this trade, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Well, where are you getting out? Like, because that's
So
I would say that's a shortfall for many
yeah.
people that are trying to actively trade. If you just got conviction and you're hodling, no biggie. Like, I get it. You just
Mhm.
kind of keep padding the pockets there. But for this,
Yeah.
I think this is what a shorter time frame trade would be my guess. Because
Sort of. So my thing is, I think you mentioned, or we mentioned this a couple episodes ago last week. We also were in this huge ascending triangle.
correct.
So a retest of the ascending triangle, the top, using it as support, well, losing that would be my, way to get out of the trade. But popping out of a ascending triangle and coming back in, if we lose this ascending triangle, then I'll be worried about the whole market. So I'm really, really bullish on ascending triangle, like these big ascending triangles. That's one of my go-to patterns if I want to trade patterns. But coming down
Right.
here and using this top side support as resistance would trigger, me to get out of my trade. So I
Okay.
might, just start adding into it. So it just depends on how the market is. I sometimes I use sentiment too. So sentiment weighs heavy on some of my trades as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's so important sometimes to kind of talk about that part of the trade. I think it gets lost a lot when you start watching some of the other creators. But over to the
Yeah.
chat, just want to say what's up to a couple people here. I see Bucks in the chat here. Flat Smack, how you doing? Mark Dutch, my man, is in here as well. Alexo is building Fibonacci TPs. He's got a new baby, so apparently he's getting a little PP everywhere. So hey man, you gotta learn, man. You're gonna learn. Wait till the second one. You'll have it all figured out. That will never happen again, I promise. Or you're just aiming it at someone else. So you'll get it. It's all good. But all right. Well, Bill, we truly appreciate you coming on with us, man. This was it's kind of a short, fast show that we do here. And I think it's awesome to kind of wrap the night up with it. That's why we call it the crypto nightcap. But dude, we appreciate you coming on, man. I hope you enjoyed it. Anything you
I
want to
did.
say to the people on the way out?
Yeah. Crypto Noble on YouTube. Check out the market update. Listen, I
Gotcha.
really appreciate being here with you guys. It's you're not a good analyst unless you're helping like the new guys come up. If you don't bring up who's next, then you're not a good analyst. So I will do anything I can to help you guys come on up and get busy.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
I appreciate that. Here's Bill's X. So this is what it looks like. You'll see he does have a check mark there. So check out his X, and then here is his YouTube as well. So at Crypto Noble is the YouTube, and then for the X it is crypto_noble. All right. So that's the two you'll be looking for there. Go over, subscribe. I'm doing it here live. There you go. I am now subscribed to Crypto Noble
Thank you.
myself. Boom.
Appreciate that.
There it is. I think we do follow each other on X already. But yeah, I mean, go over, support him as well. I think the one thing that I've learned recently as we've kind of networked and reached out to people, this community is pretty cool. Like a lot of people support each other, and it's not really what I envisioned. I thought it was going to be more of a dog eat dog kind of world. And it's not so much. I mean, there's a few, that think they're bigger than they are, but other than that, everybody's pretty cool. So again, Bill, we really, really appreciate it. One thing I do have here, we talked about it a little bit pre-show. It looks like, and if you guys want to help out the Investing Bros, that's up to you. But it looks like their YouTube was actually taken down. So there is a at Team YouTube here. If you guys want to tag them or make a comment, it looks like he got a lot of reposts. This was in the 20s when I reposted it. So show them some love. Investing Bros, we are pretty close with those guys. So if you could help them out, that would be much appreciated as well. We never want to see people get their YouTube channels taken down. They do good content. Like it's pretty clean. Like they don't do any sketchy stuff. So I don't really understand what's going on there. But wishing them the best, hoping they can get it up and back running here soon. So cool. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone in the chat. It is much, much appreciated that you guys spent your time with us. We do appreciate that. Again, we do this every Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are trying to bring you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis. And Captain Native Crypto, quick shout out for you. Gifted 1 Piper Academy membership. That went to Nikki B. Nikki B, get over to our Discord. Check us out there. There's a lot of good stuff. Makes you eligible for some giveaways and things of that nature, as well as trade setups and, all kinds of cool stuff. Bill, do you have a Discord as well?
I have Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon? Okay. Sweet.
It's patreon.com/unhinged crypto.
Unhinged Crypto. I like it.
Unhinged Crypto. Yes, that
right.
is that's me and my partner.
It's a good show. Good show. And it brings
it's called Crypto Happy Hour. It's actually on the Unhinged Crypto YouTube channel.
Brings a whole nother element to the charts and to the space too. I don't think anybody else is doing it, not too many people are doing it like that. So make sure you get over there. Bill, thanks for coming on, man. TradeFly. You know what it is, man. Thank you for, linking me into the stream. You know what I mean? No, I'm playing. But it's been Bill, like I said, I've been watching for a minute. The TA is amazing. The stories that you tell are amazing. So make sure everybody goes and subscribes to the channel. Make sure everybody subscribes to our channel over here. And have a good night, man. Crypto Nightcap. We will be back Wednesday. We do have another special guest coming on this Wednesday. So make sure you tune in. We will let you know who that is tomorrow night. So
the cliffhanger. You gave him the cliffhanger, huh? Okay.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. I like it.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. With that being said, we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much for stopping by. And you guys have a great night. Trade safe, and we will see you tomorrow.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief.